I'm all alone today. Chris will be out for the next 2 weeks, believe it or not. He's got a lot of shit going on Saturdays, so the next 2 Saturdays he's not going to make it. So we're flying solo with me, my bourbon, my cigars, and all you guys. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. I am Chris Pravelis, guitarist, founder of Internal Bleeding. You are the SmokeSesh crew. Thank you for joining us. I am excited. Not only about new IB material and all that stuff, which you just heard on that thing, but car season is about to happen. I'm psyched, and tomorrow I am going to get the Barracuda out, tune it up. Got my spark plugs here. Yes, they're AC Delco, which are GM spark plugs, and they're going into a Chrysler product. But anyway, so a little adjusting of the carb, new cap, new rotors, everything. And then I've got this, which none of you are excited about, but I am. These are original, still in the box from 1968, C-pillar lenses. Not that any of you care, but these are what are called NOS, which means new old stock. They've never been put on a car, but they're original from 1968, never put on a car, still in the original tissue, still in the original box. I will put them in tomorrow. I am so excited. Anyway, what is up, people? I am drinking Russell's Reserve bourbon. Fantastic bourbon, fantastic price, better than most high-priced bourbons. I suggest you all, if you like bourbon, check it out. It's really good. So anyway, I saw some people commenting that they liked the material that they heard there. Believe me, that is nothing compared to what's coming. It is going to be a riff fest, as every Internal Bleeding album is, and it's going to be filled with plenty of slams, plenty of surprises. Chris and I have been working really hard on this album. We've been throwing out a lot of stuff. We've been adding a lot of stuff. We're being really picky, and it's a struggle, but we're confident that we're going to come out with, you heard some of it, and that is, I mean, that's a good song, I think, but the other stuff that we're working on is awesome, so we're pretty psyched. Man, oh man, lots of people on. Roberto Santos, what's up? Raphael, what's up, man? Andrew, what's up, brother? Albert Barlow, what's up, man? That's right. We are good. Thank you, Tyler, for the compliments on the new song. We appreciate that, brother. Philip, what's up, bro? How you doing? And Tassi, I will, Tassi, I will show you a screen capture of his reaction when I texted the photo. I'm not going to post it on air because Chris will get all mad, and I don't want Chris to get all mad. So he's very sensitive about that photo, about that drawing of him. I think he looks fine. He thinks Matt Martins, the artist, did it to punish him, which could be true. But I still think Chris looks lovable and friendly, albeit stoned out of his gourd in that photo. So anyway, whatever. Mortal Decay coming up. Joe Gordon and Johnny Payalone. I've known those guys since they were children. Okay. IB and Mortal Decay have probably played fucking 100 shows together. We've always had a good time. We've met in different places across the country back in the day. We played shows. We flopped shows with them. They played in New Jersey. They played. We play on Long Island with them, and when we came back in 2011, or I think it was 2011, when we came back and we did our first comeback show, the first band that I wanted to play was Mortal Decay. And to have them play that show was a huge honor and a really big lift to my spirits to have them play that show. That was just a huge fucking thing. And yes, this show is sponsored by BrutalGlass.com, BrutalGlass.com, BrutalGlass.com. The only Brutal Glass I have is this, which is from the 1930s. It was my Aunt Sophia's. It's a nice glass. I use it. But I don't partake in the green stuff. That's Chris's department. So I guarantee you he's smoking plenty of green right now, and I just don't know what it is. So anyway, oh man, lots of people freaking joining in. Great. Maureen, Amanda, how you doing? Maureen, I was just talking to you via text, wasn't I? Just like 10 minutes ago. Maureen says that shows seem to be coming back in the Chicago area, so that's pretty fucking cool, you know. Pretty psyched about that. So it should be awesome. Jimmy Forster, what's up, man? How you doing, brother? I loved your Mortal Decay video. If you guys can't get enough of Mortal Decay, Jimmy Forster does a complete blowout 1 hour interview on YouTube with Mortal Decay. You guys should check that out after this. It's really good. I watched the entire episode. Jimmy's doing a great job with all his videos and his band. It's good to see. Jim, what's up from Sick Bay? We're going to have Sick Bay on at the end of the month. Next week is, I believe, Danny Nelson, which is going to be so fucking fun because Danny is the awesome guy. So that's going to be a fun time. So we got a lot going on. It looks like this lockdown is starting to, these lockdowns are starting to end, which is good, which means there's hope. There's hopes for touring. There's hopes for that August tour that we were supposed to have. Hopefully it will happen, and I will be on the road for a month in August with the band and with 2 other bands, and it's going to be great to get back out there and see all my friends and see all the crazy fans and sell merch and drink bourbon and not have to live the typical 9-to-5 grind, you know, for a month and get to just be in the van and build websites and do what I do for business in the van instead of in my office. So it'll be a nice change of pace. So yeah, let's hope it happens, man. It's going to be cool. Yeah, Danny from Malignancy next week, I believe. I'm going to check the calendar right now. Pardon me all. Yes, Danny is next week. So that should be fun. And then we got Jim from Sick Bay the week after. And then in April, we're having a special episode with Bobby Tolley, Billy's brother. I don't have the exact date in April yet, but that's going to be cool because it's going to be me, Chris, Bobby, Jay Liff, our old bass player, and hopefully I'm going to ask him, we'll get Brian Hobby to come on too. So we're going to have a whole little IB reunion going on, and we're going to talk about Bill and celebrate Bill's life, and Bobby's going to talk about his Fires and Drums Foundation and everything like that. So I think that's going to be really, really fucking cool. So good month ahead, a good month ahead, man, with guests and stuff, and we have more in the pocket. And Chris and I are talking about, I don't know if we're going to wrap this up when touring starts again. I don't know what we're going to do. We might go to a once a month or twice a month thing. We don't know yet. We enjoy doing this, though. And what do you guys think? When the lockdowns ends and shows come back and people go back outside, is there going to be any interest in hanging out on a Saturday early evening? I mean, we're going to do it from the back porch. I should hopefully have my pool in by then, and we can all kick back by my pool and have a smoke sesh. I don't know, so we'll see what happens. Angel, let me answer your question, brother. A new album is not coming out for at least a year and a half or 2 years. We told the record label that we will not release an album until everything with touring and stuff is completely 100% settled and rolling. We're not going to put out an album where there's tours that happen and it's limited capacity shows and crap like that. We're not putting out an album until all this is over. So, that's it. GB, yeah, if we're on tour, we will definitely do the smoke sesh on the road. I don't think it's going to stop. And in one weekend in April, we're going to go live from Kyle Eddy's house because we're going up to jam because the end of April, that song you heard in the beginning, we're putting it down on tape. We're putting it down digitally. We're recording it. And then we're going to do a couple of weeks later, we're going to do a video for it. So that song called Overthrow Creation will be out in video form hopefully, this summer. So that's pretty cool. We're pretty psyched about that. So, so you'll get some new IB going. It looks like everybody wants their sesh to go and keep going. So, you know what? Fuck it. I'll do it from my pool. You all want to see Chris in a Speedo anyway, right? Not me. I don't wear Speedos, but McCarthy, he lives downstairs from me. He's my tenant. Comes strolling up to when we're writing riffs. He's wearing like a gold lame Speedo. You got to see it. It's amazing. So, Drew asks, if you guys play this summer, any chance of debuting new material live? Absolutely. We'll definitely play. I have a feeling that we're playing Full Terror Assault And I have a feeling that we are going to play Overthrow Creation at Full Terror Assault. I'm almost positive. We want to go out with some new material, play it for the fans, you know, and I think everybody will dig it. I think it'll get a pit going, you know. I mean, it's groovy riff after groovy riff. So, I mean, it's pure patented IB. So, you know, we want to play it. We want to play live, man. It just, these lockdowns suck, you know. Before the Mortal Decay guys come on in 2 minutes, if you're an old school IB head and you want some sick ass old school IB merch, PyrePress.com, PyrePressMerch.com, PyrePressMerch.com. Check out this sick Invocation of Evil long sleeve. That is so 92 throwback, it's not even funny. Same with the hoodie, and we never did a hoodie like that. And then the sick Mark Riddick artwork t-shirt as well, which we never did in white on black. We did it the other way, or we did it in red, I believe. So that's kind of a unique print. And then, of course, we got these killer sweatshirts, pants. So check it out if you want. PyrePressMerch.com, PyrePressMerch.com. So, oh, look at that. They're already sold on the hoodies. Nice. I like that. Sean, Joker, yeah, man, if somebody's willing to fly us down to Texas and play some shows, we'll do it. So, you know, that's the way it is. Nice to know that the hoodies are sold out. I like to hear that. That's good. There's more than 2 Internal Bleeding fans in the world, so I'm pretty happy to hear that. It's an ongoing joke in the band that nobody likes us. And it's true. There are a lot of people who hate us, so. Oh, Jimmy Forster's showing off.
Shows.
Oh, here we go. I think the Mortal Decay guys are trying to log on. There they are. Let's get them on. Hold on a second. There they are. There's Joe and Johnny.
What's up, Chris?
What's up, man? How you guys doing?
Hey, how's it going, man?
It's going all right. What's going on down there in South Jersey?
Just living, man. You know, trying to get back to it.
What's the latest? What's the latest happening? What's going on? Anything going on with Mortal Decay?
Just writing and doing writing demos at home, and just trying to get back to the regular practice schedule so we can get some of this new material out.
Right. Now, you guys just released some fucking wax, right?
Yeah.
So let's tell everybody about it and how they can get their filthy hands on it.
Got it right here, man. A gathering of human artifacts.
How can they get it?
It's all our demos, of course, from the 90s. You can get it on, if you do a deep dive on comatosemusic.com. They got some there. And also metalage.sk.
Okay.
You can order it straight from Peter there,
yeah,
too.
Yeah. Peter's the man, dude.
Yeah. We're
Peter's
officially... Yeah, he is. Yeah, I known Peter a while back, too.
Yeah,
well, yeah, we're out of our copies. We sold out of them.
Good for you. Good for you. Do you know if Peter still does Metal Age fanzine?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, right?
Yeah. No, I think the label got so big that he had to stop doing that.
That was one of the best fanzines out there. It was one of the first pro-printed fanzines I ever got.
Yeah.
You know,
good stuff.
So it's good to have you on. I got a lot of questions for both of you fucking motherfuckers. And I don't know if I'm going to bore the crowd or not because I've got geeky questions about music and stuff like that. So I'm going to just throw it out to Johnny first.
Okay.
All right, dude. How'd you come up with that vocal approach?
How'd I come up with the vocal approach?
Yeah.
I started wanting to sing as deep as I possibly could back in the day.
Right, you know? And did you try like a million different voices?
Yeah, of course. I'm sure you probably remember our first demo when we were called Macabre.
Yes.
I sounded terrible. I sound like a dog bark, and I was still trying to find my own voice.
Right.
And you know, I was always into the deep vocalists back then that I would hear. You know, like kind of like Chris Barnes on Butchered at Birth.
Right.
And there was a band from our area called Lesh Nine. I don't know if you remember ever heard of Lesh Nine. That singer was deep.
I don't remember them.
Crucifier.
Yeah,
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. And I always loved those deep, deep voices, so I would try to, imitate those people like that, and I guess and I just started doing it in the studio when we recorded Dawn of Misery, and went from there, and then it kind of took off.
Right. Now where does that voice come from? Does it come from the gut? Does it come from the throat? Where does it come from?
Yeah, more so the throat, absolutely.
Oh, it's a throat thing. A lot of people, I'm not a vocalist. I know nothing about vocals other than that I can't do them.
No, me neither.
A lot of vocalists say it comes from the gut, but you're saying it's from the throat. All right. Is there anything you do? Is there anything you do before you perform or before you record? Is there something do you drink anything? Do you loosen up your throat somehow? Any kind of like pre-vocal exercises? Anything you do? Like
Sure. I definitely will do some like screams and stuff like that. Before I record, I like chocolate milk and nacho cheese Doritos, man.
All right.
Get the gurgles going. I always said that.
All right. And how do you not have a scar on your forehead from all the times I've seen you smack the mic? You don't have a dent. You don't have a scar. All the times I've seen you smack the mic into your forehead during songs, and you don't have one scar.
Yeah. As I gotten older, I kind of chilled out doing that because you're going to work on Monday and you keep blaming you're working on your car over the weekend and
it doesn't work
and banged your head.
You blame it on working on the car, but meanwhile you got these grill marks on your forehead, like you seared your forehead.
Right. You could just say it was from the radiator. I mean, of your car.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to ask both of you this question. And I always ask everybody this question, and they never really want to give a straight answer. But if you had to pick a favorite Mortal Decay song, I'm not going to say album, but if you had to pick a favorite song, one that you like, and it doesn't even have to be like you think it's the most musically challenging, the one that's in the set list when you get to it, you're like, oh man, this is going to be fun. Like that song that gives you that I don't know, makes you feel younger or makes you or it's just extra special that you're looking forward to playing it. Is there any song in your catalog that I want both you guys to answer, your own answers? Is there one song that makes you?
I got 3 of them that's tied, but 2 of them aren't in the set list.
All right, so it doesn't matter. Give me the 3.
Rejoice the Moribund, which is sometimes in our set list. Beyond Forensic Knowledge and Columbia Necktie.
I love Columbia
Necktie.
Necktie.
They're my 3 favorites.
Right.
Yeah,
you know how many people I fucking annihilated during fucking Rejoice and Moribund? Oh my God. I punched so many fucking people during that song. Such a great song. All right, what about you, Joe? What if you had a pick?
Well, in the set list now, I think there's 2. We've been opening the shows with apparitions a lot lately, and we always close the shows with Opening Graves. So those are like my 2 favorite, most fun songs to play that I know that will nail every time. So
okay.
Some of them are like some of them, if you have hearing issues on stage, you kind of get a little nervous because there might be like little technical things that like you might miss here and there, but I know those 2 songs that I mentioned are always hits.
Okay,
we always hit them good, So
and you always feel good when you play them, and
yeah.
All right, cool. That's awesome. When was what's the last show you guys played before all this fucking lockdown shit happened?
Oh man,
we're going on 3 years off stage.
it was either
it was Maryland Death Fest.
Maryland Death Fest.
Or also the one we played with you too at Hot Shots.
That was the December before.
That was before.
That was
before.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I always wasn't sure which one was. Yeah, it's been a while. Man.
Yeah, that was a fun show at Hot Shots. Rob Wharton really did a good job putting that show together, man. That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. That was a fun night, man.
And
for sure.
And the liquor store next door, I guess because it's such a fucking dirt rundown liquor store. It had all this hard to find bourbon that all the collectors are buying for like $300 a bottle, and there it is for like.
Oh really?
Yeah, dude. I bought like $400 worth of bourbon because they had all this bourbon.
Really?
Yeah, they had all this bourbon that people have been paying astronomical prices for, and it was like $49 a bottle. I'm like, fuck. and you know, because
Did you go back in there?
What?
Did you go back in there when you guys stopped around on that tour stop? Did you go back in there to see if they had any more?
I think I did, yeah. And I don't think they did. I think because those bottles I bought had.
You probably bought them all out last time.
I was going to say those bottles I had are an inch and a half of dust on them when I bought them.
Yeah.
You know, because the average guy who stumbles in there to buy 700 lottery tickets isn't buying good bourbon. So, you know.
Right.
All right, let's get into some like some geeky stuff. How does the writing process go? So from it, does it go from I have a bunch of riffs, let's see what we can do with it? Does it go with somebody having a fully formed song? Like, how does it work?
Well, nowadays we do a lot of the writing at home. So, like John will come in with a full song or parts of songs. I'll do the same. But like back in the day, it used to be if he had a riff or I had a riff, we would start on that riff and then just see where it went.
Right.
In practice, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like as on the spot as we were going.
Right.
Like that's how a lot of the Forensic album was written. Like we didn't really come in with a lot of pre-written stuff. It was just like, hey, this is kind of cool. Or like you're getting warmed up and you kind of come up with something and you're like, oh yeah, let's fuck around with that, you know. So but nowadays it's really not like that because we don't have a huge window of time to jam.
Right. None of us do. None of us do.
Yeah. So like when we do jam, it's like, Ant will have the tracks with the clicks for a while and he'll go over that on his own and then be ready when we get there somehow, you know?
Yeah, that's cool.
But over the years, we've done it a lot of different ways like that, from just jamming on the spot to having a bunch of stuff written at one time, you know? Like we don't really prefer one way over the other. Right.
Okay. I mean, I think we follow the same path as you. It used to be back in the day, you know, when we weren't necessarily adults and we had time to practice for 5 hours 3 times a week.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd sit and I got a riff to start a song. Cool. Sick. Let's work that riff. Oh, wait, I got an idea. And everything. Mm-hmm. But that's impossible now. We're all old men. We have jobs, families, right. Exactly. Blah, 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 blah. And this is the way it works now. You know, somebody has a fully formed song or whatever, and then they pass the audio file back and forth. How does it? Okay, so how does it? How do I explain this, Joe? Or how do I put this delicately? What happens when you write a riff, or Hartman writes a riff, and one of you doesn't like the riff?
I mean,
every band has it. Chris and I go through it all the time.
Oh yeah.
So how do you handle? Because when you have, you know, it's really easy when you're in a band when there's one writer and he's the boss. It's a lot harder when there's 2 writers or 3 writers and you have to balance out, you know. Joe, I know that you love a lot of 70s music and stuff like that. So maybe some of that influence creeps in that Hartman might like, and Hartman likes this. And so sometimes there's a clash. How do you handle when there's a clash with a riff that you like and he doesn't like, or he likes and you don't like? How do you handle that?
Well, we kind of, you know, we're pretty instantaneous as far as like if there is something that he doesn't like, or if we'll immediately come up with an idea to try to make it better right off the bat. So it's like, if it is like a decent idea, you don't want to throw it right away unless you like mess with it a little bit and say, oh, you know what, that's really not going to go anywhere. Let's just stop wasting time on it. But we don't really have major disagreements on stuff. You know, like he writes cool shit, I write cool shit. So we just basically it's 99 times out of 100, it's good anyway. So we don't really argue about that kind of stuff.
Right. Chris and I don't argue, but we do exactly what you do. You know, like Chris will write a riff and I'll say, I might not be completely keen on it, I'll say, can we fuck around with it? Let's maybe add a bend here or something. And he'll be like,
oh yeah,
oh
it's
yeah,
the littlest thing.
Let's fucking try. Let's fucking try that, you know. And then sometimes, you know, sometimes Chris will say, I'll write a riff, and sometimes Chris will say, I don't like it, and I'll be just like, all right, fuck it, we'll just get rid of it. And I do the same with Chris. But it's interesting. You have to have a really cool. You have to have a really good mindset to be able to do that and be able to put your ego aside and be able to work with a partner. It's hard sometimes, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of the time, like if we didn't have that mutual respect for each other, I don't think it would have lasted this long. You know what I mean? So
I gotcha.
So that's a good way to think about it too. Like, you know, we both have a major stake in how this band has sounded over the years, and we don't take that lightly, you know?
Yeah, great. That's awesome, dude. Johnny, now I know Ipri writes a lot of the lyrics. Does he write all the patterns and everything, or do you get it and you change it around? How do you approach writing? You know, how do you approach your vocal delivery?
Yeah, well, Ant does do the patterns.
Okay.
He now I'll add ideas and be like, how about I try this? How about I try that?
Right.
Or can I throw a growl here or growl there? But yeah, Ant's been doing all the arrangements since way back when.
Yeah, no, I know that, and you're okay with that. You sync with what he does. Like, I guess you're on the same wavelength as him, because you obviously. I never heard you ever sound like uncomfortable with any phrasing or anything like that.
Right.
Okay. Sick. Okay, so what are you drinking, Joe? It's beer, obviously.
I am drinking. It's an IPA from a local brewery called Flying Fish.
Okay.
And it's the beer is actually called Hot Fish, but the Flying Fish brewery's been around here for a good amount, like, I don't know, maybe 15 or so years, and it's good stuff.
Yeah.
The only problem is with when you go to the brewery there, the breweries around here aren't allowed to serve food, so that's the one.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Kind of let down, yeah. But there's, you know, obviously there's plenty of pizza places around here to order from, so when you go there and drink, it's a good time. So I like their beers.
All right, good. Guys, there's a lot of people watching, so I'm sorry. I'm trying to pay attention to everybody. Guys, if you guys want to ask the Mortal Decay dudes questions, please do. If you ask a stupid question that's going to start a fight, I am not going to answer it. I'm not going to ask them. So anybody have any questions to ask them, please do, and I will pass it on, and we'll see where we go.
Cool.
I want to go into your favorite show ever played, both of you guys.
Favorite show ever played?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say mine was, that sticks in my head, the Milwaukee Metal Fest I did with...
In 04.
Yeah. Nuclear Assault, MOD, Body Count. Who else was there? Vital Remains.
Vital Remains was there, yeah. That was a great fest.
Yeah, that was probably the most people I played in front of when I was with the band, too.
Were you nervous?
That was 04.
Mm-hmm.
04
with Deeds of
Milwaukee Metal Fest.
Were you nervous?
That was one of the... Was I nervous?
Yeah, were you nervous?
Maybe for a minute. I really don't get... If I do get nervous, right after the drum beat kicks in, it goes away.
Right. Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm comfortable now. But that was probably the one that sticks in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Times we opened the truck for like Morbid Angel.
Yeah, Morbid Angel or Obituary.
Like anywhere locally.
That, you know. And whenever we get the chance to come, you know, play some of the big shows that come through. Now it's always a good time.
Now, Chris, I remember some early IB shows. I remember one. I know we weren't hanging out. I swore we played it. It was at some huge warehouse.
Yes.
You and Rexia played. You remember that?
Dude. It was.
I met Doug from Suffocation.
Yeah. You guys didn't play, right? Or did you play?
I don't know if we didn't play, but we were hanging. I don't know if we played or not. We were hanging.
That is a legendary. The IB Warehouse show was a legendary show. I think you guys did play. I think I brought you
think
up because I wanted you
have.
guys to play. For
Right.
those of you watching, we used to rent a warehouse. That's where we used to practice. We used to practice in a warehouse,
Yeah.
and it was us in the warehouse. It was Pyrexia in the warehouse, and there was another band. I can't remember the band. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And we used to have weekend keg parties. It started as weekend keg parties at the warehouse.
Yeah.
First, it started locally, and then we started inviting bands to come to play. We had you guys play. We had Ossuary from Pennsylvania come and play, and they just turned out. The floor was covered in fucking beer. People were fucking slamming and slipping and sliding all over the fucking beer. Oh my God! What a great time! I'm glad you brought that up. Those were good times, man.
That was in the Wild Rag days, right?
Yeah, that was either 92 or 93. I mean, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was before me. I kind of regret.
Yeah, it was before. It was before you, Joe. It was definitely before you. It was such a good time.
That's something that always stuck. I mean, I used to love that record label, Wild Rags.
Mm-hmm.
I still am like a dork and like a lot of the labels, and I was on their mailing list and stuff, and it was so cool when we made friends with you. And it was awesome,
yeah, man. I mean,
it was awesome to be friendly with a Wild Rags band back then. You know,
when everybody asks me my favorite death metal band, number one name that comes up is always Mortal Decay. And it's
man, that's much appreciated.
I appreciate the love, man. Of course.
Of
course, it goes both ways that way.
Chris, here's another one, man. Do you remember? Here's another one. Do you remember playing like some train station in Wilkes-Barre, PA? Do you recall that? It was like a train station. I think it might have been with Ossuary, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
It was like an old. Do you remember that?
Yes. Yes. I just don't remember the name of the club.
Right. Yeah. That was a weird one.
Yeah. That was good time.
It's like a train station.
I don't want to leave Joe out of the conversation, so Joe, what your favorite show? We haven't gotten to you yet. Me and Johnny are just disappearing into the early 20s.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
I don't want to leave Joe out of the conversation.
There's been a lot of them, man. Like, it's hard to pick a favorite show. But I will say, being a part of the Extinction and Driven to Conquer release parties was really cool for us.
Oh yeah, man.
Especially the Driven one, because we got to hang at your house. You played the album for us, and
we all went swimming. And stuff.
Yes. And my mother was all impressed with all your tattoos, with fucking Anthony's tattoos or John Hartman's tattoos and everything.
Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah, sitting on my parents' back deck. Fuck yeah, that was such a good time, right?
I mean, shows are cool. Like, there has been a lot of cool shows, but like the best shows are the ones that you could do with like your good friends. And, you know what I mean? And like you guys are not excluded from that at all. So
absolutely. Thank you. Okay, I got a question for you, Joe. What is the tuning? What did you guys tune to on Brutalizing Creations?
I think it was A. I think we were like getting down to A by then.
You were getting down to A by then?
Sickening was also, Sickening was also in A. So we had a little bit of an era there where we were in A, and then we changed it. Like, I think Forensic was up a little higher, and then we stayed at B for a little while for Forensic and Cadaver Art, and then we went back down to A for Blueprint. So, and now we're like, whenever the mood strikes us, we were like, that's not sounding good. Let's tune back up. It sounds too high. Let's tune back down. Like we're kind of idiots like that.
Did you ever think about? Because I've thought about this. Did you ever think about using multiple tunings on one album?
We have.
Okay.
On Cadaver Art, we had of the 9 songs that are on that, 7 of them were in A, and 2 of them were in C. So
was that conscious, or was it just the way things worked out?
Kind of, because the one was just kind of like a short 2.5-3 minute jammer, and we're like, oh, this would sound really cool if it was tuned up. And then the other one was the second part of a 2-parter, and just to make it sound a little bit different than the first part, we tuned it up. Okay. So
cool.
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys from Jimmy, who probably talked your ears off, in the last video. He said, when did each member know they made it in the scene? Like, what was the point you sat down and was like, we have this, like, wow, we really did this? Was there, I know what he's saying. Was there a point where you realized that like Mortal Decay was actually a force in the underground? Was there ever a point where you sat back and you said, holy shit, people like us and people think we're like a good band and we actually have fans? You know, was there ever a point that you did that?
I think for me, when, like witnessing it, being in the middle of it, I think it was the first time we played in Montreal and realized that you know, people actually knew our songs and, you know, were like really into the set, and it was like that Cat House up there. I don't know if you ever played the Cat House up there.
Yeah, we have.
Montreal, but just the dark nature of it, and like just the whole atmosphere of that show, and the way the crowd reacted to us after we played everything was just like, okay, yeah, this is cool. I think we can keep going with this thing. You know?
Nice. What about you?
Honestly, with me,
yeah,
I think
honestly.
that stuff. I think that stuff kind of recently with the birth of social media and our you know, our Mortal Decay group and stuff, and seeing all the you know, all the fans that we have and through the years, and it's that's means a lot to me, you know.
Yeah.
And the other thing too, that again, this keeps haunting me, how this gathering of human artifacts keeps getting re-released through the years.
Oh, I know, isn't that amazing? I mean, that's like with our second demo. Every other week, somebody wants to re-release it. It's like crazy.
Right. Yeah. Well, and you know, and the fact now it's being pressed on vinyl, and to hear my vocals on vinyl for the first time recently was definitely a huge milestone for me, and
that's
awesome.
Cool. Yeah. You know, our first vinyl didn't come out until our last album, Imperium. Till Imperium came out 2 albums ago, and that was like the biggest fucking thrill for me that I had an album on vinyl. I grew up on vinyl. I mean, I was born in 1968, so everything I had as a kid was vinyl. You know, I even had vinyl before cassettes, you know? So to get a piece of vinyl in my hand with me on it, like, even my dad was impressed. He's like, wow, you put out a record. I'm like, I've been putting out records since, you know, the 90s. Like, but my dad understood record, you know? And it was just, man, what a thrill. I totally get that, man. There's something about that huge format that vinyl is. You know, and
that's definitely my favorite. That's definitely my favorite format too. I mean, I grew up raiding my dad's record collection when I was little. So I mean, that's all my favorite stuff I've ever. That's probably still a lot of my favorite albums have been since I've listened to them when I was a kid through his record collection. You know, so
yeah. Last time I was over at Joe's, he's got like vinyl going around his living room. He's a collector. I
know. I see Joey. Yeah. He always posts. He'll always post what he's listening to, and he's always got a vinyl style cleaner right next to the record while it's spinning. You know,
my little brush that I have next to it. Yeah.
But you know what? That's one of the great things about vinyl is that it's. If you're going to listen to it, you have to be interactive. You have to pull it out. You have to hold it carefully. You put it, you know, what side am I going to put on first? You have to decide that. You put it, you know, you have to clean it before you play it. And a lot of times, you know, so there's a whole ritual involved, which I think makes you feel closer to the band.
Yes, for sure. And you got to be committed to it. You got to be. It's really the only format that I purchase nowadays, and
that's
I
feel it's the way of today, releasing things on vinyl, digital downloading, and streaming. You know what I mean? I think they're like the 3 formats of today. I mean, that's how I feel.
I like the resurgence of vinyl. I'm not too keen on the resurgence of cassettes because I have so many bad memories of sticking a pencil in a cassette, or pulling the cassette out and seeing it unspool out of the boombox. You know, so I'm not.
Oh man, I know.
You know,
they get stretched. You know, they get like sometimes they get hot if you play on the player too long. The fucking player gets all hot.
And even when I was 20, I couldn't read the lyrics on the fucking J card on a cassette. You know?
I know.
Oh man, there's a whole. Oh, God, I can keep you guys on for like fucking weeks. Let me see. We got some other fan questions here. So,
Okay.
what is the sample at the end of the title track of "Sickening" from?
Oh, that's this guy. It was before Forensic Files was a big show, and I forget the guy's name. He actually died a few years ago. That would be a question better asked to Anthony, because he's the one that ripped the sample. But God, I wish I could remember that guy's name. He was a big name in, like, you know, some of those true crime shows, like even like
Robert Stack?
stuff that would come on ABC and stuff. What's that?
It wasn't Robert Stack, was it?
No, it wasn't like an Unsolved Mysteries thing.
Oh.
It was it's gonna help me. As soon as we're done, I'll remember the guy's name.
All right,
Google
listen. If you remember the name, you can go back to here and post it in the comments, because people read the comments after the shows. So,
all right, cool.
Wow, we got some rock stars watching. Von Young is watching. You gotta love that,
Nice.
man. Von's the man, dude. You know
What's going on?
Yeah, that's awesome. We got a lot of people watching. All right, let me see if I can find some more questions. I'm getting comments like they're flying. So I think this is to you, because I don't think we played in 2018, but I'm not sure. I think we did 2017. What did you think of the Las Vegas Death Fest you played in 2018?
I mean, I was at the 17 one. I think the 17 one had a slightly better lineup, but 18 was cool, and it was, you know, like that was like our second to last time we were on stage since this whole thing went down.
Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was great. We had a good time. We had a good set. I feel like, and it was just, I mean, every time you went, like, oh, I'm gonna go take a piss, and then you'd run into like 5 people that you knew on the way to the bathroom, and then you still had to piss because you were stopped to talk to everybody.
That's how I was when we played in 2017. That's how I was. I couldn't walk.
Yeah.
I couldn't walk 5 feet without getting into a conversation, which was great. You know, I loved it. I really did. Hold on, I need to buzz.
We played in 14 too, and it was not too good. So 18 definitely made it up for us.
Yeah,
that was my first ever go.
Yeah, it grew, so it got better. I just need to bust Von's chops for 1 minute. Von,
Okay.
I'm not talking crazy, bro. You are a rock star, so fucking shut up and watch the show. Anyway, okay, hold on. GB Brewer, this is an apt question since his last name is Brewer, asks a question. Joe, what's your go-to style beer?
I lean towards IPAs, but I do love a good Pilsner, but mostly IPAs. And in the summer, you know, I'll drink like a Corona or a Modelo. So.
Have you ever?
I'm a Stella guy.
Stella's good. Have you ever had the Modelo Negra?
Yes.
It's good,
I buy
right?
that more so than the Especial. Yeah.
It's very.
I love the Negro.
Now long before Modelo was even in America, when I used to go to Mexico with my parents, I would drink Modelo Negra all the time, and I thought it was fantastic. I was like, oh, why isn't it in America? Now it is. I think it's great. You know.
Oh yeah, it's definitely great. It's cool when you go to like some of the Mexican restaurants around here too, and they have it actually on tap. So. You know, it's even better on tap than it is in the bottle. Right.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, Johnny, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Because you played in Shop Corps, so you know you're hardcore.
Right.
Okay, so first, what is your favorite metal album, and then what is your favorite hardcore album?
You mean my favorite plain metal album?
No, your favorite metal album, like that you would listen, your go-to listen to metal album.
If I was stuck on an island,
yeah,
and
right,
I had
exactly.
one album to listen to,
right.
DRI Thrash Zone.
All right, I would call that metal. Now, what about hardcore?
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. For hardcore,
but I would call Thrash Zone a metal album. I would also call Dealing with It a metal album too, but
yeah.
Do you have
Yeah.
a favorite hardcore album?
I do. If I had to pick one, man, In Cold Blood's album,
Okay, cool.
Hell on Earth. Well,
Yep.
if you know that, that's one of my favorites.
Okay. Damage.
Um,
Damage by Black Flag is my favorite hardcore album, hands down.
Yeah.
It's the most
like
violent, out of control album ever. It beats the shit out of a lot of death metal. Maybe not musically, but in anger and aggression, it just is like
For something. Yeah. For something old school, I was a Sick of It All guy.
Oh, Sick of It All is great. Sure.
Scratch
Sure.
the surface,
Yep.
For old school stuff, it's hard to just pick one.
I know. That's why I say. What about you, Joe? Now you have eclectic taste. So now
But-
I'm not gonna say favorite metal album, favorite hardcore album. I'm gonna say give me your 3 favorite albums. Period. Could be any genre.
Okay.
Wow.
Well,
I know Joe's got very eclectic taste. So.
Well, I have a top 3 rock. I have top 3 death metal. I have top 3 prog. You know.
All right. So go 3. All right. Go through top 3 death metal.
Jeez.
Top 3 death metal
Yep.
would be probably Pierced, Malevolent Retribution,
Hell yeah.
and in Gorguts, Erosion of Sanity.
Hell yeah. Oh, Erosion of Sanity is so fucking good.
I mean,
Completely
I love
underappreciated.
Considered Dead. I love Considered Dead too, but I mean,
No, Erosion
just blew my mind.
Erosion is that bridge album before they went wacky technical and still stayed brutal as hell. That's how I look at it. Okay, so we went through the favorite.
I just listened to it again last night. It's still heavy as hell.
Oh yeah, it's great.
And it goes between Pierced and Erosion. Probably was my number 1 and 2. So I mean, sometimes I like it better than Pierced, but you know.
I hear you.
But those are my top 3 death metal.
What about rock?
My number 1 rock album is probably Pink Floyd Animals. I know you don't like Pink Floyd.
Fucking album. I've never made it through one song. That album puts me to fucking sleep.
Oh, dude, it's so. If there was a such thing as brutality back in the 70s, I think that album does it for me, man. It's so heavy as fuck.
Sabbath.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. You can't deny the genius of Tony Iommi anyway. So, but
I know we talked about this before about Animals.
Oh, we have probably at length.
Yeah.
Rush Hemispheres.
Yeah, great album.
And Led Zeppelin, Physical Graffiti.
Physical Graffiti. I see now. I Led Zeppelin 3 is my favorite.
Me too.
I think it's
I
think it's the heaviest. I think Physical Graffiti is definitely more like progressive sounding.
And it's the heaviest one.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, John Bonham is so good, man. Jimmy Page, I'm not a big fan of. I think he's kind of sloppy, honestly.
Yeah, he is.
But
I wouldn't be here if I never discovered them. He wrote
great riffs. He wrote great riffs.
Were what made me want to pick up a guitar.
Yeah.
So
he did write great riffs. The thing I love about Zeppelin is John Paul Jones and John Bonham together.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Unbelievable bass drum work on John Bonham. Unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Those single foot triplets and stuff. So good. Now
the rhythm section is so good in that band. So underrated is John Paul Jones too. You know.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. What about? Do you have 3 favorite jazz albums or no?
I listen to more fusion than straight jazz.
But that's what I listen to.
I love Mahavishnu Orchestra and
which one?
Intermounting Flame. Al Di Meola's. What's that?
Intermounting Flame is my favorite.
Yes.
Mahavishnu.
Yes, mine too.
All right, what's your favorite Di Meola?
Probably, I gotta think of the ones I have on vinyl that I've listened to recently. Actually, you know what? I only think I have one on vinyl. Casino.
Casino's good. Splendido Hotel's my favorite.
Casino Hotel, that's the one.
Yeah. Oh, good stuff. Let's see. What do you got? Oh, some people agree with you, Joe, on Animals being their favorite album. Ugh. God.
It's just so heavy, man.
All right. People want a reissue of Sickening. I'm getting comments on that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see. Oh my God. I've got so many things. I'm trying to go. Okay, here's a good one. Anthony asks, any plans to reprint any old school Mortal Decay shirts?
There's been no real plans. I think we lost some stuff along the way because one of the company that pressed our Grizzly Aftermath stuff, they closed, and we were never able to get that artwork back.
Oh my God, really?
So yeah, so I don't know how to recreate that, but and the only thing we have is like a little 5x7 picture of the artwork, and I don't think that would.
That's not going to scale up. Yeah, that's not.
Yeah.
Now,
without having to redo the whole thing.
One thing I loved about you guys is you guys were one of the first to make colored shirts.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I think there might have been. Well, I mean, I know Human Remains was doing weird shit back then, like that, like with the purples and like the blues.
I had a green Human Remains shirt. I had like a dark army green.
It just had that weird logo on the going up and down the one side of it, right?
Yeah.
They had that robot. Yeah. They made all different colors of that shirt, but yeah. I mean, we saw what those guys like that were doing, and we're like, man, you don't just have to make black shirts. Wow,
Yeah. You
so
guys ran.
Kind of a revelation.
You guys ran with that red. That my Grizzly Aftermath long sleeve is so fucking cool, man. Yeah. With the red and the black and the white. Oh, it's so fucking good. You guys, but
I unfortunately don't have mine anymore.
Yeah, me either. I wish I did.
I still have it. It doesn't fit, but I still have it.
We had blue short sleeves too. I remember blue short sleeve Grizzlies
with yellow print. With yellow print.
Well, no, the blue Grizzly shirts had like a silver logo on them.
Yeah,
and it had one silver logo on the sleeve, but the back was white, just like everything else.
I swear you guys had a blue. I swear you guys had a blue shirt with yellow print.
Yeah, we had a blue shirt with a yellow logo, pocket logo,
print.
And
yeah, because I have that up. Yeah. I have that in my office. I have that shirt.
Yeah. I think Hobby's wearing that on one of the album pictures.
Yeah, I think he is too. Okay, so Jimmy asks, you guys have to name your favorite IB songs and albums.
Wow. You gotta forgive me. I'm bad with song titles, man. I used to track albums, but
I don't.
My favorite. Well, if I had to pick one, Chris, it would probably be Driven.
Okay.
If I had to pick one, it would be Driven, and Driven, and I'm trying to think of the song, Falling Down, man.
All right. Yeah.
I love that movie. Right. I'm always, every time you guys play that, I'm always shouting "Clearer Path," coming home, and that's just.
Oh my God! I wrote the lyrics to that song in the hotel room. So we were recording that album in Chicago, and we didn't have lyrics for it. We knew we wanted to make it about the movie Falling Down. I wrote the lyrics. We literally watched the movie in the hotel the day before we were going to do the vocals, and I wrote all the lyrics in like 10 minutes while watching the movie.
What's such a great feeling, man?
Yes. I can remember it. It's like one of those magical moments, Guy had worked out like the vocal patterns, and I had a cassette tape with the vocal patterns on it that, Guy used to go like blah, 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 for vocal patterns. And I remember the lyrics just coming right out of me, and I just wrote them. I'm like, done, unbelievable.
Nice. Awesome.
All right. What about you, Joe?
That's definitely my favorite album, but when that drum and bass intro for Anointed in Servitude starts, I'm like, man, that's got to be my favorite song.
Oh, thank you.
For sure.
That's like our Paranoid. We have to play it every fucking show, But it shows the kids what's up. It shows the kids what's up.
Either, Yeah. But that, like I said, that's no slouch to the latest album either, man. There's a lot of great shit on that record too.
Thank you, man.
I can't wait to hear what you guys. I can't wait to hear what you guys are writing now.
Thanks, man. We're trying, man. We're trying. We're trying to keep making
Yeah,
every album sound different. And when you get into a career that lasts 30 years, you can't. I don't want to write the same shit over and over again, but at the same time, I don't want to lose the internal bleeding sound. So it becomes more difficult to do.
I don't think you guys will ever lose that.
I don't think so
Chris,
either. I don't think so
stream
either,
show
because Chris
also.
McCarthy is an IB fan. Kyle's an IB fan. Ryan's an IB fan. Steve's an IB fan. They're all IB fans. So, but the question is,
They get it.
Yeah, the question is how do you make it sound fresh and not sound like a rehash of what we did. A lot of people are like, you guys got to do an old school song and write something like from 90. I'm like, why am I going to write something from 92 when there's 27,000 bands that are writing pretty much riff for riff what we wrote in 92?
Right.
I can't do that as a musician, It's a hard kind of thing, to survive.
It's a hard thing. I mean, I wouldn't say that we have to do this, but it's got to be a hard thing trying to transcend the imitators. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
There's a lot of bands that, like you said, are doing what you guys are doing, and I mean, unfortunately for us, we don't hear a lot of.
No, because nobody can imitate you because you guys actually know how to play your instruments. There's a huge difference. Me and Chris.
It took a long time to get to that point, but yeah, I guess
me and Chris are just fucking Neanderthals. I mean, we don't know what we're doing. You guys know what you're doing. I mean,
yes,
nobody can copy that.
I love the fact that you started adding solos to your music too, man. That's fucking cool.
Yeah, I know, and I like the fact that I'm making them blues solos. So
yeah, absolutely. I think it adds to it.
Right, and that because that's my spirit. That's where I'm at. It's those solos are just channeling Tony Iommi.
Totally.
I can't trill as fast as him. I'll never trill as fast as him, but at least I try.
I can't either. That's one thing that eludes me is the fast hammer-ons.
Oh my God, he's the fastest. If you listen to the end of Snowblind, those trills that he does, nobody can do them that fast. And he had pounds of cocaine.
Even with the fake fingertips.
Yeah.
Like how does that shit not fall off? He's doing that.
I don't know, man. So my favorite part of Mortal Decay is obviously the guitar harmonies. Okay, beside the vocals, I love the vocals, but the guitar harmonies always get me. And it's a combination of the riff that's written, and it's a combination of the harmony. Now, what do you guys do? Minor thirds, fourths? What do you do for your harmonies?
Whatever sounds good to our ear, we'll employ. So
you'll try. So you're willing to try anything. You're not going to just immediately go to the minor third and do a harmony there.
No. We'll do that sometimes. We'll be like, oh man, it could sound a little sharper. So we'll just we'll just add the sharp to it.
Okay.
And then sometimes it'll sound better. Sometimes we'll go back to it. Sometimes we'll use fifths. Like the Slayer harmonies.
Right.
So whatever sounds good to our ear at the time.
Right. That's awesome. That's awesome. Do you ever use any like weird, harmonies like flat seven or something like that or.
Yeah. There's one riff in Colombian Necktie where we do like a kind of like it's almost like a second harmony.
Okay.
It's hard to explain, but if you go back and listen to that song, that's like one on the weirder side of what we'll do with it. But yeah, I mean, if some things sound too happy, we'll go minor with it. If it sounds too dark, then we'll bring it back up. Whatever feels good to us at the time.
All right, and Johnny,
but it's definitely a big part of our sound.
Oh yeah, it's huge. It's the one thing I love because they're like nauseating sounding all the time. So, and that's a good thing,
Yeah, definitely.
So, John, give me your 3 biggest vocal influences.
3 biggest vocal influences?
Besides Liberace.
Music. All music, or I'll just say death metal wise.
What
For death,
what helped craft your vocal style? Let's put it that way.
again, old Barnes from, again, Butcher to Birth.
Okay.
I was an old Barnes guy. I was the originators, man. When it all began, you know, John
Right.
Tardy,
Right.
even Glenn Benton,
Yeah.
even Chuck. I always liked Chuck's. You know, they were the ones that did it for me. You know, the ones who I always looked up to,
Right.
so to speak.
Right. I got you.
I mean, I have favorite singers from like the outside death metal world, of course, I grew up to and stuff
like
too
who?
as well.
Like who?
Like Ozzy,
Okay.
Jim Morrison.
Right.
Geez, going on. I mean, I don't want to sound cheesy or anything. There's a lot of people watching. I don't want to embarrass myself. But if you rooted through my my music collection, usually just a lot of people will be like, "Wow, you listen to that? You listen to that?" You know. Who else? Who else is? You know, I'm huge into the whole punk rock thing too. I come out of that. You know, like the Danzig stuff, Misfits, Sex Pistols.
So you think Johnny Rotten?
Allen.
You think Johnny Rotten was a good vocalist?
I do. Yeah.
Hell fucking yeah, dude.
I do.
I love the Sex
Absolutely.
Pistols. Love the Sex
Yeah, me too.
Great fucking band.
Yeah, I'm a Pistols fan, absolutely. You know,
and nobody. I'm just gonna jump in. I'm just gonna jump in a second. Nobody gives Steve Jones credit for writing fucking great riffs. He wrote great.
He was a really good player too. Like not only that, but like he was actually probably the only musician in that band.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Sham 69 class.
Sham 69 is great. Oh, so you know your man.
Well,
Buzz
my
Cox.
favorite. My favorite is the biggest is Bad Religion is probably one of my favorite bands in the world.
Okay.
And Greg Graffin's probably one of my favorite singers.
All right, that's awesome.
You know, I'm talking outside of death metal. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I'm just a fan of underground music, not just death metal. As
I think kind of we all are. So I mean, we don't have to.
Yeah, there's always different stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Joe, do you know any music? GB Brewer asks, do you know any music theory?
I mean, not in the educational sense, but I think I have a good ear, even though I really can't hear anymore.
You and me both.
But I think we tend to just whatever sounds good to our ear, like, you know, like we've been called atonal, we've been called this and other things too, but like I think at the end of the day, if we like what we do, then we think other people are going to like it too.
Right.
And so theory and all that doesn't really go too far into that. I mean, we'll sit and talk about stuff like structurally and how everything kind of comes together and is kind of like in my progressive mindset.
Right.
But I wouldn't call it actual theory knowledge for sure. You know.
Yeah. No, I get it. I have not a ton of theory background, but I do have some theory background, and there's a lot of stuff that we do that actually is theory based. Like I'll say, what is a seventh chord sound against this, and somebody will grind out part of a seventh chord, and somebody else will do something else, just because. And I do that more as a learning experiment than. You know, if it doesn't sound good, I don't do it. But I've been getting into theory for the last couple of years. You know, and you'll definitely hear a lot of diminished progression and stuff like that on the new album. It's all over the place.
All right.
You know,
we tend to write in that kind of zone as well. Over the years.
I think a lot of death metal does. Right, in that idiom, and maybe they don't know it, but they do. You know?
Yeah, maybe they're kind of just stumbling upon cool stuff like that. But we kind of grew up with a lot of our favorite Jersey bands that we were playing with back then we're doing a lot of the dissonant like triad chord stuff and
Yeah.
like the ripping chord stuff. You know,
Demonicy.
Demonicy. You know,
Demonicy. Stan's the
You know,
man.
godly.
Yeah, God,
Fucking
Demonicy's
godly.
great. They had the coolest guitar tone. It wasn't even like a heavy guitar tone. It was like this nasally, annoying guitar tone that just stuck in your head, you know?
And you know what, too? Like, it would sound like that live, too. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
so
you
cool.
could listen to the EPs and stuff, and it would sound like that live. And, like, how are you guys doing this? How are you guys pulling this off? But
They had one of the most unique guitar sounds in the underground.
for sure.
You know?
And it cut through. Like, even having two bass players, that guitar sound still cut through the way it did, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Now, you guys, I don't know, you guys can't answer this. Maybe you can. One of the biggest things about Mortal Decay is Anthony's drumming. It is
Agreed.
beyond compare. Now, is he heavily jazz influenced? Because it sure sounds like it.
Well, I know his dad is a drummer. And I think he still goes down and plays every once in a while. He's probably in his mid-70s now, but like I know his dad listens to a lot of jazz or listened to a lot of jazz.
Ant was heavily Neil Peart.
Yeah, he's a huge Neil fan, so
yeah.
So that part of it comes through in our sound as well. But yeah, I mean, he's definitely influenced by it. I don't know how much he actually listens to. But I mean, it's
because he definitely has.
He's definitely on the weirder end of it, you know.
Yeah,
for sure.
he definitely has a lot. He definitely has a lot of jazz in him. You know,
yeah.
I think it's part of your charm. Beside the guitar harmony, and the vocal approach.
I also think what he can do and can't be taught. Like it's all like a lot of his drumming is feel, for sure. You know what I mean? That's why, like, I really can't wait to, like, you know, especially since he's been back in the band. We've only put one album out,
right?
So I really want people to hear what he's capable of now.
You know
what I mean? Like even this far on, going. Actually, we're going to be 30 years this year, so
yeah.
Crazy, right?
So I mean, you know,
where's the time go, man?
Exactly, man.
We're really excited for people to hear some new shit, especially what he can do with it, you know.
Well, of course, the other thing Anthony's very talented with is his lyrics.
Oh, hell yeah.
His lyrics are very sick and twisted, you know.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's a great lyricist. He writes some amazing stuff. So when you or Hartman write riffs, do you put fake drums behind them? Or
I do.
You do?
I mean, I'll do that if I have like at least a minute of stuff, I'll put drums to it. If I just have like a riff here or there, I'll just keep the click and send it over to him. But
okay,
I will have drum ideas in my head, and it will be based on what I think he would do.
Okay.
So I try to program some stuff that he might do, just weird little cymbal work things or little kick things that he would do. You know, like I definitely have him in my mind when I do that kind of stuff.
Right.
So
but you never.
And then it's easier for him, huh?
Right. You never step on his toes. You let him write. You let him play whatever he wants to play, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So that's the one thing I always loved about him was he could like read my mind as far as what I was thinking. Even if I just came up with the riff a second ago, he would have it, you know, my idea already done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, that's exactly what I was thinking for this, you know, like that kind of thing. We've always had that kind of telepathy with each other.
That's awesome. Yeah, Billy, may rest in peace, was like that too. I'd write a riff and I'd have a basic drum beat, you know, in my head. You know, something like, you know, do two bass drums at once here and then Bill would just all of a sudden just like all this cymbal work. You know, Bill and Anthony were compatriots, especially in
for sure.
Especially and I think it's a lost art nowadays, in cymbal work. You know,
yes.
I mean, Billy and Anthony work the cymbals. It's not all about just the accent on the downbeat. You know, it's about the spice. It's about the little trinkets that you throw in. You know, Billy was big with that.
yeah.
You know, he'd throw in shit out of left field that you would never expect. Anthony does the same thing. I think that's a lost art.
It is, man. Like, there's not a lot of drummers that play like that anymore. You're right, and it kind of makes what like newer death metal all sound the same, is because all the drummers are playing the same way.
Yeah, it's
You know,
all,
a lot of
it's all
times.
become too mechanical.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
that's my opinion. You know, I love that.
There are for sure the exceptions.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying it. Yeah, you
And
can't
every
make
people like
you
that,
can't
but,
make broad generalizations. Yeah, absolutely. So, but
Sure.
yeah, it's just an amazing thing. So listen, we've been rolling a long time. People aren't bored, but all right. I'm gonna. Philip's been asking a lot of questions, so I'm gonna pop one up from him. Oh no, that's Tossie. Annoying. Everybody loves Tossie. Now Philip asks,
Yeah.
what would it be a dream tour for you guys?
If we could tour,
Yeah.
I think going on the road with you guys would be awesome. I always
hell
love
yeah.
that.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that sticks in my head too.
That would be fun, man.
As far as like some of the, what's that?
That would be fun. Maybe we can at least plan a weekender together or something. You know, like 3 shows in a
That
row.
would be sick.
You know,
Yeah, that would be awesome.
as soon as things open up, maybe
Wow.
we'll talk about that because that'd be fun.
For sure, dude.
Yeah.
For sure. Let's see. I mean, I always wanted the chance to tour with one of the bigger bands. You know, like always thought Cannibal would be cool to go out with.
Hell
like,
yeah.
Because they tour for a long time. You know what I mean? Play in front of like so many people.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely a maximum exposure type of thing if you go out and tour with them.
Oh yeah.
But you know, Immolation would be probably like a cool tour package, tour partners. Of course, fucking Suffo, that would be brutal as hell. You know, bands like that I would love to go out with. You know.
What about you, Johnny?
Yeah, I'm thinking in my head, definitely, of course, Cannibal, like Joe said. I would say, I don't know. I mean, let me think. Who should I pick? Have to be someone that's hot now too.
Yeah.
I'd say Mortal IB, Napalm Death with Sanguis Sugar Bob open up.
Now that would be
That's just something I think.
a fucking sick
That would
bill.
just be something.
That would be a sick tour.
That's just something now.
That would be good. Devin's a good man, man. I love them. You know, Devin's good.
Yeah,
Devin's good people. Jimmy says that Scattered Remnants, IB, and Mortal Decay would be the big 3 of DM. I don't know about
That would be amazing too, and I'm really glad that they're back. That's fucking awesome. To
Yeah,
see.
me too, man. It's kind of cool that I get to, you know, all these guys that I played with back in the day, you know, are getting in their wheelchairs and fucking making their way.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a good thing some of these stages have ramps nowadays. You
Oh,
know?
thank God, man, because I'm almost there, man. I'm like, hopefully I don't need it, but I'm going to the doctor on Thursday to find out if I need back surgery. I mean, it's like,
Oh shit! I saw your post the other day saying you got the MRI.
yeah, this old age thing, dude. It's like old age and death metal don't go together.
I just assumed it was for your shoulder or whatever. I thought you were getting maybe your shoulder work.
I need shoulder surgery too, but you know what? The not touring for a year and stuff, it seems to have calmed my shoulder down. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, because we were touring a lot.
Mm-hmm. You guys were killing it pretty much.
Yeah, and I was coming back in horrible pain and just ready to throw in the towel and just give up because the physical pain was too much. But maybe this break, maybe something's good about this break. It's like, you know, other than I've been sitting my ass so much that my fucking back is all fucked up now. You know? The lesson here is just don't get old, you know?
Right. I know.
Yeah, I mean we're no spring chickens either.
No, I know you guys aren't.
So,
so obviously we don't. All of us don't make a living doing music. Joe, what do you do? I know what you do, but tell everybody what you do.
Well, actually, I am a foreman at a steel fab shop.
That's awesome.
So actually, my whole life is metal. So it's a good thing.
And Johnny, you're in IT, right?
Yeah, I've been in IT since 1998.
So what do you do?
And
you set up networks and
right
things
now,
like that?
Yeah. Right now, I'm a lead support technician for the state of New Jersey, actually, for a Board of Education. Yeah.
Oh, nice. A state
So I
job.
can't. Yeah, so I can't. You know what I mean? I got a pension and all going for me. I can't, drop and split and tour, and that's always been my problem. Obviously, all those times
I think all of us
departed.
I think everybody has that problem, right? I mean, except for me.
Yeah.
Right. It was always my, career was in the way of things, and it sucks. I wish this did pay the bills. It'd be great, man.
I know, man. I know it doesn't, but we do it. We do it because we love it, right? I mean,
absolutely, yeah.
There's no way around it. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up with you guys.
Okay.
All right.
This was a big thrill for me. You guys are you're my favorite band. I love you guys to death. Please give Anthony and please give Hartman my love.
Absolutely.
I'd love to have you back, the whole band. I mean, we got to work on it. Even if we pre-record it one night when you have practice and you're all together.
Okay.
And
we're all there, yeah.
And we just pre-record it. I would love to just assault you with questions, talk about old times, have a good time, and then we'll put it up on the SmokeSesh. I would love that. I love you guys. Thanks for spending an hour and 15 minutes with me.
Well, right? I mean, we love you. We love you, and we love the guys too. And thanks so much for having us on as well. Like, I wish we could have done it sooner, but I mean, it seems like the perfect time.
Yeah, it worked out, man. All is good, and have a good night, John. No,
all right, Chris.
Listen, John.
Man.
Cheers, my brother.
You've been having trouble with Skype. You're a network engineer. Like, figure out how to quit and get out. So anyway, whatever. Have a good night, guys. Love you guys. Say hi to the fellas for me.
Definitely. Say hi to everybody for us, too.
We'll do, and I'll see you soon, man. Cheers.
All right, brother. All right, Thank you again, man.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Love you. Take care.
Later, brother.
Later. All right, so we got the Mortal Decay guys on. Thank you very much to them for joining us. That was awesome. 6:20, I'll be here for a couple of more minutes if you guys want to ask any IB-related questions or you want to ask me about my car or any of the other stupid hobbies I have. Feel free to go ahead. Glad you guys liked it. I love Mortal Decay. I've loved them since I first heard them. Probably, like, in my view, one of the best death metal bands ever. They don't get the respect they deserve. They should probably be one of the biggest death metal bands on the planet, and I don't know why they're not. That's my opinion. So whatever you guys can do with that, you can do with that. So weather here, let me tell you about the weather. It was beautiful out. Yesterday it was like 70 degrees. I was on my back porch. I had my bourbon, my cigar. Now it's fucking cold again. Wind is blowing. I'm getting sick of this crap. I need spring to come. I need to get my car out. Maureen asks when the pool is going to be done. So we sunk a lot of money into getting a pool in our backyard. And the permits will be released in 3 weeks. They're saying 2 to 3 weeks. And we'll start breaking down. And the pool company promises us by June that the pool and the decking and everything will be done. And you guys can join us on the back deck during the SmokeSesh. Maybe we'll even go live from the pool. I've wanted a pool all my life. I grew up with one and finally saved up enough money and pinched pennies. And, my parents died and left me some money, thank God. And we can finally afford a pool. And I'm looking forward to getting it because I love swimming. And it's going to be great. So, here's a question. Hey, Chris, at the very end of Inhuman 99, are you doing backup vocals? I am. And I also did backup vocals on the original Inhuman Suffering. the stupid high-pitched screams, that's me. Yeah, that's my only vocal appearance ever. And as a matter of fact, Chris McCarthy makes fun of it constantly. And it's an ongoing joke in the band. We all yell inhuman in a really high, annoying, high-pitched voice. And it's very funny, I guess, because I'm 6'4", to see somebody with such a high-pitched voice say, you know, in this really high-pitched voice. Anyway, so that's the answer to that. So Joe wants to thank everybody for watching, and we appreciate it. Joe, thank you so much. Let's see. We got, oh, man. Yes, Jimmy, that is me. I'm doing the high-pitched inhuman. That is me. That is, God, on the first demo, I think I was 25, which is older than you. So I'm probably 3 times your age right now. So anyway, thank you guys. What else do we got to say? Is anybody drinking tonight? Anybody drinking anything? I'm drinking my, I told you, Russell's Reserve bourbon. Gonna gap my spark plugs later. Maybe I shouldn't. I had a lot of bourbon. If I gap them, I'll probably gap them wrong. My car will run like shit. Do any of you even know what gapping spark plugs means? Jesus Christ, I'm so old. Anyway, we'll leave it there. I'm going to try something here. Play a little new IB for you in a weird way. Let's see if this works. Give you a couple of seconds. I don't know if you guys can hear this, so. Nope, you can't hear it. I wanted to play something for you, but it doesn't work, so. Jimmy asks, when did you feel you made it in IB? Well, we never made it, but I would say that I first realized that we had something going on when we did our first tour with 6 Feet Under in 95/96. When we played every show, there were tons of IB fans there, and this was in the tape trading days and the letter writing days, and we didn't realize how far our sound had spread across the country. And I think that's the first time I realized that we've got something going on, and wow, people actually like it. I think that's the first time, and it was a great time. It was a great time, and Chris Barnes was very supportive of us. And I remember talking to him, and he's like, hey, man, he's like, a lot of people like you. That's so fucking awesome. It was very encouraging. So I think that's Tassi, yeah, same tour, dude. Fucking 6 Feet Under, Immolation, IB. Ugh, it was a great tour. It was a wonderful tour. I'll never forget one of the first shows we played in Texas. We had no money, and it was a 6 show. This was on the 6 Feet Under. It was a 6 show, and I remember that we were complaining that we had no money, and we went to go sell merch. And this is one of the reasons I love Texas. We went to go sell merch, and we sold so much merch because people wanted to support us. And I remember one woman, girl, writing me a check, personal check for $100 to support us. And I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. I'll never forget that. I wish I remember her name. I can remember her giving me the check, you know, and she's like, spell your last name. And I spelled my last name, and she made it out to me for $100. And I was like, holy shit, we're going to make it to the next show. That was good stuff, man. You know. Anyway, wow, what is this? You guys have a lot of questions. See, we got another Motorhead here. Just did oil, plugs, wires, points, and timing. There we go. Old school. That's what I'm doing tomorrow, but I'm not dealing with fucking points. I graduated to pass points. I'm not doing dwell and all that shit. I'm over that. You know, I have my electronic ignition. I don't need points. Anyway, gonna wrap it up here. It's 6:30. You guys have been with us for a long time. We really appreciate it. Sorry Chris couldn't be here. Chris is gonna be gone next week, but I'm having Danny Nelson from Malignancy here with me. And then Chris will return after that, and we'll be back to me and him palling around and having a good time. But I really appreciate all you guys joining with me for tonight. Thank you so much. Gonna wrap it up now. Let's see what thoughts on Jungle Rot. Jungle Rot's awesome. Love those guys. I've loved them since the late '90s. Great guys. They bring the groove. Simple but effective death metal. You know, catchy as fuck, and I think that's a great thing. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys have a good time. Be safe. Be well. See you next week. I'm gonna go with Andrew here. Old school is so much better than computer crap in cars. You know what, Andrew? I'm gonna go off on a little riff here. I shouldn't, but I'm gonna go on. The one thing about older cars, when you can work on them, you feel a lot more connected to the automobile than you do now. And this is a curse and a blessing. Because of the way the world's moving, things are becoming so impersonal now, and everything is run by computers and this and that. The older cars, you have to understand how they sound. You have to understand how they operate. You have to really kind of know what and you become one with the automobile. So one thing I love about my Barracuda is I know when there's something wrong. I can say, this doesn't sound right. And then I'll spend time fixing it. And it's a weird, I'm not saying it's like movie Christine level obsession, but it's that man and machine thing where you feel that the car comes alive when you're in it, and you're alive when you're in the car. I can't describe it. I got into muscle cars early in high school, and it stuck with me. Something about it, something about the imagery, something about the design of the cars, something about the obnoxious V8 engines. I think honestly, it was the irresponsibility and the freedom that muscle cars represented. Muscle cars were extremely irresponsible. There's no doubt about it. It's too much horsepower for most people, but that's the beauty of it. It's freedom. You were free to do what you wanted. If you want to do 135 miles an hour into a guardrail and kill yourself, go for it. And I'm all about freedom. So you just got to be responsible with it, and we all need to be responsible with it. Anyway. Oh, look at this. Jason Reynolds, you saw a Savage 69 Barracuda. You know how rare that is? That is super rare, dude. I've seen one in my life, and that's it. And the Savage Barracuda is savage. Anyway, love you guys. I'm going to call it a night. I don't want to end because I love hanging out with all of you. But we'll see you next week. Take it easy. Here come the closing credits.